Thank you very much for having me. How are the mighty fallen? A country that cannot protect its children is a country that does not care about its future. In terms of leadership, in 2013 and 2014, the current president stated that on issues of security, the buck stops at the president's table, and that if the then President Jonathan could not protect Nigerians, he should resign. Today, this is the legacy that President Chief Bola Tinubu is leaving for Nigeria's 3 years down the line of sorrow, tears, and blood. But to call Tinubu as a leader a failure will be an insult to failures. It will be a disservice to failures, because this is a kind of failure that other failures look up to and aspire to gain this kind of milestones. Remember that in 2025 June, Chief Bola Tinubu visited St. Lucia, a country in the Caribbean islands, and gave students scholarship in a foreign land. Meanwhile, in his home country, children are not even begging for scholarship. Nigerian children are only begging for an opportunity to wake up in the morning, dress up, go to school, and come back without ending up with terrorists in the forest. Today, as we are speaking, under the Tinubu administration, in 2024, Nigeria was the 6th most terrorized nation in the world. By 2025, we became the 5th most terrorized. Anti-root, in 2026, we are the 4th most terrorized nation in the world. But you know why our situation is peculiar? The government and the military of the 4th most terrorized nation in the world has a policy that is called Operation Safe Corridor. Under that policy, government gets terrorists that have killed children, mothers, fathers, including military officers, organizes a ceremony for them, gives them a shoebi to wear, and say they have sworn to a holy book and they have now been repented. So the government commits taxpayer money to rehabilitate non-terrorists, while the victims of their mayhem and their anguish are still in internally displaced persons camp, and some with the terrorists in the bush. Nigeria has more than 18 million out of school children. Today, schools are still shutting down because we have made a multinational enterprise out of insecurity. And it will not end for as long as government seems to be complicit in what is going on. If Nigerians do not wake up and we continue to pander and talk about this situation without any tangible solution to ending this mayhem, my thoughts and prayers are with everybody, because as we speak today, a 2-year-old toddler, Christiana Akombi, is in the forest. And guess what the leadership is doing? The president and the first lady are engaging in a campaign for the re-election of this government. It is a tragedy, but unfortunately, it will continue for as long as the people permit it. That is where we are. Children have become a soft target. They are taken, they pay ransom, and the cycle continues. Why? Because government has failed in its primary responsibility to protect life and property. A government.
Okay, but Peter, what do you want to say about the people who actually posted their account details to the kidnappers when they were giving monies away? What does that also say about our own moral fiber? Because people have actually posted their account details, and the bandits gave them monies. So what does that even say? What does that say about us as a people?
What are we supposed to do as a people when the government agencies that should be tracking criminals and terrorists are rather too busy going after critics of government? Anti-root terrorists in Nigeria have accounts, they make calls, they have medical supplies, and somehow the intelligence. So when you build a system of criminality, when you nurture criminality, criminality will develop and it will fester. That is why terrorists can come live on TikTok. But there are certain conversations we may have even on this news channel. Your safety may not be guaranteed, because maybe the people may see and think that you have become a threat to national security. How on earth are terrorists able to operate before the glaring eyes of the entire nation? And we have an intelligence unit in the military, we have a DSS, but somehow cannot track them. So are we going to leave the terrorists and then come after Nigerians who are engaging with them? What are the authorities doing with the information that they have? What are they doing with the persons that have been caught? We are rehabilitating them. They are repented. The people who may not have opportunities to repent are people like the teacher, Mr. Oyedokun, who has been beheaded on live television. Meanwhile, the people who beheaded him may come out tomorrow and just repent.
There's a growing perception that when it comes to political dissent or activists, enforcement is swift and coordinated. But when it comes to kidnappers and violent criminals, the response feels slower and less effective. What does this say about state priorities? Because he just said that government needs to be more reactive. They are reactive when it comes to arresting activists. Why doesn't this extend to armed robbers and bandits?
It should tell you where the priorities of the state lie. If you can have repentant terrorists, how many repentant activists who made statements have you seen been rehabilitated and given money? Let me make it clear, ma, that every government is more powerful than whatever criminals or criminal gang that operates around its territory. Whenever you see a government that seems to be helpless in the face of criminality, one thing is sure: such governments are complicit in the criminality. Once you are able as a government to detach yourself from the criminal network and you go forcefully against the criminals, you will not only crush them, you will protect your people. Nigeria is going around in a circle because we are yet to figure out the political wing of terrorism and insecurity. If we fail to end that political wing, the one in the bush will only continue to fester. I have stated it maybe even on this program, on this network. A governor who is an APC governor in Kebbi State came out in the open and made a statement. He said before there was an attack on the government girls secondary school in Maga in Kebbi State, we had intelligence. We deployed law enforcement including military. They reported to the school. They took pictures with the students and the teachers and were there. Few hours before the attack, somebody gave an order for them to be withdrawn. They left and people came in and took children and killed the vice principal. The governor is asking the commander-in-chief who ordered troops out of that school. Till date, nobody has been able to answer. And then we go ahead and we say that the children were discovered. Ransom was paid. People have benefited. So when you continue to pamper terrorists, a country that is more concerned about taking care of repentant terrorists than protecting its own children. So under this administration, people who are supposed to be leaders of tomorrow are in the forest with terrorists, while the leaders themselves are feasting and preparing for the election. So you will continue to see these shenanigans because we have built a system that rewards criminality and corruption, where integrity and staying by the rule of law may become more problematic for you. People are in DSS detention today for making a tweet about government. Somebody was detained, Justice Crack, he's still in court today for saying military officers should be fed properly. So when our intelligence is only able to go against people who are voices of dissent against government, while government on the other hand, anti-root, a popular Islamic cleric, Mr. Sheikh Gumi, said on national TV, he said government knows where the terrorists are. They know their location. They know them by name. Has anybody invited Mr. Sheikh Gumi for questioning? What answers have been gotten? So what are we saying? Who is deceiving who? Until we end this circle and stop pretending to be asleep, we are all in trouble. Are we a normal people in this country? When you say you should talk to government to do the right thing, shebi it is a government that is interested in the welfare of the people that you can talk to that will listen. When you are unfortunate to be led by people who are political businessmen, who see citizens not as human beings who deserve good governance, but as customers for their personal trade, then this becomes your portion. This tragedy and this calamity will continue because we handed over power to persons who have no business being there and who have proven that on the will or the list of beneficiaries, the people come last, if at all they appear there. What he is talking about today as his experience is what a 2-year-old toddler is going through in Oyo State. A 3-year-old boy, Sikiru Salami, is going through this kind of experience as we speak. We may not even know their current conditions in the forest. And guess what? The wife of the president, who is supposed to be, according to her, an ordained minister of God, is attending an APC rally where she's trying to inaugurate Tinubu torch bearers. I don't know the torch they are inaugurating that cannot find 40 children in Oyo State and distributing cars to women leaders in the state house. When under Jonathan, we even saw the then first lady shouting and screaming, even if it is to pretend to have empathy for children, anti-roots children. It's what Nigeria is not able to protect. A country that cannot protect your women, cannot protect your men, cannot protect your youth, cannot protect, we cannot agree that children should be protected. What are you going to tell? When you say that they should begin to do this, we have repentant terrorist rehabilitation. When will we have rehabilitation for victims of kidnap? When are we going to set out funds to say people who have gone through this torture, we are waiting to see when government will come up with a policy to support them, to reintegrate them back into society. You can imagine the trauma that a person like this is living with. Anti-Root, if Nigerians do not come together, mobilize and end this reign of terror we call a system of government, my condolences are with all of us, because everybody is a potential victim. Today's victims were yesterday's survivors. Tomorrow's victims will be today's survivors. The dead can no longer die. The next set of persons that this carnage will happen to are those of us who are alive. May we say enough is enough soon enough. Repeating the same action and expecting a different result will be insanity. Sheikh Gumi said the government knows where they are. No investigation. General T.Y. Danjuma said the military, they collude. Nobody has come out to debunk it. If we do not get the political wing of terrorism out of the way, we cannot solve the militant wing in the forest. It is up to Nigerians to end it and get governance that they can hold accountable. This has become a multilateral business investment. It will not stop because a lot of beneficiaries want it to continue. For as long as we allow beneficiaries to be in government, the lives of the people will not be saved. The people have the right to do what is right and protect our lives.